Canadian Aquatic Auctions is your place for that aquatic enthusiast in your family this holiday season. With Christmas fast approaching, now is the time to look for that great gift for that special someone who lives the aquatic lifestyle. With years of experience, owner-operator Nelson Fletcher can help you achieve your aquatic needs and goals and help you find that special gift for that aquatic enthusiast you love. You can also converse with other aquatic hobbyists and enthusiasts by logging on to www.aquariumauctions.ca and joining the TAC room, where you can ask any questions. Visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today at their website at www.aquariumauctions.ca or their Facebook page at facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Christmas is not far away. Come catch Santa on his sleigh. Time is precious, seize the day at Ski's Watch and Clock. Ski's been in business for 20 years. He knows his stuff, so have no fears. He knows about all those tiny gears inside every clock. When you come to Ski's Watch and Clock, his variety is huge. From wristwatches, pocket watches, stopwatches, desk clocks, mantel clocks, grandfather clocks, new and previously owned reconditioned pieces. Right now, with Christmas so close, we will only accept light repairs till after Christmas. The elves are busy enough as it is filling Santa's sleigh. Don't let the Grinch stop you from filling the stockings or putting things under the tree this year. If you're worried about getting someone a gift, you can put items on layaway with just a small deposit. Thanks to Ski, you can send that stupid Grinch to his bedroom with no dinner or TV and no computer or PlayStation. By now you must be wondering where Ski's Watch and Clock is. It's located in beautiful downtown Winter Haven at 106 West Central Avenue, Florida, just across from the main post office. Call 863-294-5630. Again, that number is 863-294-5630.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together, this is our time. Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Memories can last a lifetime, especially when it comes to the holidays, especially when it involves taking pictures. If you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place you can count on to make those memories last longer than the holidays. That place is Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers can help you with making your Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate the best ever by taking single shots, family portraits, couple portraits, pet photos, and more. She can also capture the finest winter scenery you can imagine. Those photos are available all across the country and around the world at a price that will not empty your wallet for last-minute Christmas shopping. Don't wait until the last minute to get your pictures done for the holidays. Call Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography at 541-951-2443 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work can be found there. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year from all your friends at Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, it's a machine gun! Look out, Daddy!
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Are you looking for a great education that's also in a great location? Check out College of the Siskiyous. We offer a variety of career and technical education programs, general education, and personal enrichment classes. With our new Reg 365 process, you can register for any semester, any time of the year. With on-campus housing, an active campus life, competitive athletics, and expert guidance from our highly trained staff, College of the Siskiyous is waiting for you. Call us today.
All right, and welcome to the show. And yes, you are hearing the NFL Wrap here, and we are doing this one here for you. And yes, it is the NFL Wrap, not Take Time for Sports. The NFL Wrap. We are doing a review of Week 13, and we're going to be previewing Week 14. You're going to get two for the price of one today, so we could just get it covered. We got a lot of things happening, both of us, so we're going to get this one done. And Mike, how you feeling, bud?
Like crap. It's been like this for the last couple of days. I think Abby and I came down with something, so I have a feeling it could be spread across the country very soon. But, nothing deadly or anything. I just don't sound like myself. Let's just put it that way. But we're going to get it done.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to get it done this time, and we're going to review and preview because yeah, we definitely do need to take the extra time off here and get things done here. And I just got to tell you guys, Week 13, we only did. Granted, we only did the Thursday games for Thanksgiving, and and we pretty much aced that. But and we're going to go over them. But the way the games went and the way we would have picked them, we definitely would have been eating crow on Sunday. We definitely would have been talking about leftover crow. So, in a way, thank God we became vegetarians for a week, because that eating of crow can get nasty.
Oh yeah, that might be why I've been sick. No, I'm just kidding, folks. But I'm going to tell you, it was. I probably would have been eating crow even with my own team. which I think I still can't get over that. But that'll be coming up in just a bit, and also we'll be talking about just the pretty much essential collapse of one team, which has led to another coaching casualty. There's a lot to talk about here, so we're gonna get right to it. So let's start talking about what happened on Thursday.
Well, what happened on Thursday, I mean, people are just going to have to get into that one. Here I am getting I do have the schedule up here, and we will go over the games I'm going to last week so we could get the scores. Bears versus Lions. I did a special talking about coaches, and I don't think Matt Patricia's job is on the line. I really don't think it is as much as others do. I think they're finding out where their ceiling is, and I think people are finding out real fast that Matt Stafford is overrated. But this kid, even though they lost, this kid who goes by Blow, he impressed. Even though they lost, he impressed. Mitch Trubisky.
Blau. His last name is Blau.
And I just, I'm amazed. I'm amazed, Mike, by what I saw with him. Trubisky did numbers. He did good numbers, but he did it against a team that just, their defense just isn't there. So just so people get an understanding of Trubisky here, numbers lie. This is that rare case where the numbers lie. Because he was not going up against a team that was at its best in the short week. And this was also a team that's dealing with injuries. So I'm not going to look at those 3 touchdowns that Trubisky made for 338 yards and say I'm coming out of this thing impressed by Trubisky. Miller was great. The receiver. I'm not going to say Trubisky was.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, the score didn't really reflect on how well both these teams played. It was probably the closest game on Thanksgiving Day, and did I not say the Lions were going to fight? Claw and scratch. They didn't win.
Oh, I saw you did say it. You said they would fight for sure.
Well, the proof was in the pudding right there, no doubt about that. It just goes to show that any given Sunday, or in this case any given Thursday, I think is truly what people will speak of. They'll speak about how well the Lions played, and they have some extra time to get going, to get for the next game. But for the Bears, and we'll talk about the preview coming up, but the Bears have a full week. So do the Cowboys, which we'll talk about the Cowboys shortly. But yeah, a good Thanksgiving feast there. Just went the Bears' way. It was a divisional game, which that I can understand. If you can play a divisional game on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, yes, do it. Which is what they did, and it lived up to everything we expected.
Yeah, it did. You're absolutely right. You're 100% right. And I'll agree with that 100%. Game two on the night, Bills versus the Cowboys. I got to tell you, I went into this knowing the Cowboys were going to lose. I went into this knowing that was going to happen. Bills are not a joke. Cowboys were going into this with a short week too, but that team was worn out after playing the Patriots. Granted, yes, they didn't score, but both teams played very hard. But when you're going up against the Patriots like that, you don't win. Everything was evenly matched with the Patriots. Coaching is what really did it. This was a worn-out Cowboys team going up against the Bills, and they couldn't get it done. Zeke did not look good. Prescott, I will admit, looked better than people will give him credit for his 2 touchdowns. But it was Josh Allen and Beasley's time. on that offense, and it was just, it was not going to be denied.
No, the Bills played superbly. I mean, it's it's the kind of Buffalo Bills football that we've seen all season long. And they they go into Dallas, humongous stadium, sold out to almost 100,000 people, and they come in like didn't intimidate them.
Yeah, exactly, and that is exactly what happened here. People just got to look again, big picture. Big picture, folks. This is what goes on. This is what happens. This is what happened to, in this game. So you got to look at it. And why does this thing keep coming up on me here? So there's a whole lot to really look at here.
Definitely. I think, and again, it's like I've been listening to listening to the radio all week long, and there's still all this talk about Jason Garrett, and you talked about coaches that are on the hot seat. Yes, he's on the hot seat, but, and listening to the Jerry Jones show, which Jerry Jones runs the whole thing. Owner, president, general manager. He's probably even the janitor of the place. And he comes out and he still has good things to say about Jason Garrett. He says he's going to be an NFL coach next season. Does that tell me that Jason Garrett's time is about done in Dallas?
I think it is. I think Jason Garrett may be done here at this point, because Jason Garrett, it's just he was it was a quite you could, like I said, this was a pretty evenly matched game you could ask for. It came down to the coaching, and to use a term of Alexander G. Bernard, Bill Belichick compared to Jason Garrett, he's the superior man.
It is, yeah, he is, and the thing about Belichick's superiority, there's always going to be chinks in the armor. And I'm going to talk about that later as I start gloating. But for now, we talk about this this Cowboys team that just, they're supposed to be the leaders of the NFC East, and they sure didn't play like it, because, you had Philly get their butt beat this past weekend, with them having a chance to try and catch up to them. Dallas, if they are going to win a division and do well in the playoffs, they're going to be like the Houston Texans were last year. They'll probably wind up winning the division, but they don't have much else. They'll probably get bounced for the playoffs in the first round, and that's not going to make people happy.
No, it's not. It's really not. This is not the team you're supposed to put together. Doing this record, the team you have together with all that talent, you need to be winning games, and you can only look at what's causing it. It's the coaching. And and I'm not going to say it's all him. You got too many. You got too many kings. Too many hands from the administrative hands in the cookie jar. You got too many of them, and that's what doesn't help. You got to let the coach the team, because your head coach is going to be your big picture person too. A head coach has to see the big picture for what it is as well. And Jerry Jones needs to be that way too. He needs to be the big picture person too. So, and that's going to be the thing. We'll be talking about, we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go along here, but, in the end of the day, Bills win, rightfully so, no surprise there to me.
Oh, yeah.
Game 3, the primetime game of Thanksgiving. New Orleans Saints went against the Atlanta Falcons. And Falcons were not going to pull an upset here. They were not. And it showed.
Even on their own home field, they wouldn't get it.
If you look at the time of possession and whatnot, because of those successful onside kicks to get the ball back, there is a problem here. And I'll tell you right now, yesterday his name was said as being the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't think is that great of a fit. And it's not going to matter who comes in to coach. either way, Dan Quinn is done. I think there are too many bad decisions made, which is what made this game what it is. And, there's two people that are the ceiling on this team, Matt Ryan and Dan Quinn. And I'm sorry to say this where Matt Ryan goes, because, I want to say he has a couple good years left, but truthfully, you can see he really doesn't. But
there's obviously nothing left out of Matt Ryan.
No, there really isn't. I mean, if anyone should try and make a move to get Teddy Bridgewater, if Teddy Bridgewater does wind up being traded, I think there are three teams I think really should be looking at Teddy Bridgewater. I think the Falcons need to. I think the Chicago Bears need to, and I think the Detroit Lions need to really consider bringing him in. Should he go? Otherwise, I'll tell you right now, if Drew Brees goes to the Super Bowl and wins it this year, he may decide just to hang it up and say that's a career. It would be good. That would be Drew Brees ending on top. It would be great, and you have a quarterback that can get it done. So, but we'll see. We'll have to see there. It's just, it is what it is there. And Dan Quinn's going to be gone. I'm not going to really jump into it. I thought there were a lot of bad calls made, and when you look at the stats and you look at the numbers, you'd think that the Falcons should have won. I mean, to go for field goals instead of trying for the touchdowns, that hurt them. That really hurt them. I don't know if you want to add anything into that.
Yeah, it's all I gotta say is that the Saints are back playing Saints football. That's all I gotta say. Because Breeze is back. I think the thumb's really starting to heal. Yeah, and I know Father Time's catching up to him, and I know he wants to win that Super Bowl and everything. But I think that he has proven that he's back. He's got his quarterback running, and I think that the Saints are going to continue to march on. But for the Falcons, they got to make some changes. And it would not surprise me if he was the next one that would probably go before the season ends. But then again, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a record number of coaches fired this year too. And it's getting ridiculous. You got to be a lot more fair to these coaches, and that's something to talk about again another time. But I've already said my piece where that goes to, and people can listen to that, and we'll be able to listen to that later on tonight. But that was it. That was it as far as the games there. No real, with the exception really to the Bears and Lions, no real game to really say you were totally entertained by.
Yeah, not really, unless your favorite team won. And for both Bob and I, we could say that we could be happy about it. And I think that I know we're jumbling games around and everything. I need to go back to my thing here, but to jump right into it, and I've got all the results here. Let's jump into the game that essentially everybody was talking about could be a preview of the Super Bowl. The 49ers and the Ravens. And it was played in a monsoon almost in Baltimore.
All I can say is the Ravens won that thing. You beat the Patriots, you beat the Ravens, or you beat the Patriots, you beat the 49ers, and
yep.
Is this Ravens team Super Bowl worthy or what?
I said it last week. I said punch their ticket, they're going to go and they're going to win. That's how good they are. Even though Lamar Jackson's numbers were not that great passing-wise, rushing-wise, this guy could wind up beating, from what I understand, and I'm seeing it online, Michael Vick's old rushing record, or at least passing it. Lamar Jackson's for real. I think these Ravens players are rallying around him big time, and they know that they have another shot to win their third Super Bowl in franchise history. It would be a huge accomplishment. I know they got to get through the rest of the regular season. I know they got to get through the playoffs, but as it stands right now, as far as the AFC AFC playoff picture, the Ravens right now are number one.
Oh, they are.
And we'll tell you why in a moment. But they are now the number one seed. And they're playing like they're the number one seed, even though the weather conditions were not favorable for them. Garoppolo got it going, was his old self. But again, when you look at the 20-17 score, you will know that the weather had a lot to do with it, because otherwise the Ravens would have run up the score.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Garoppolo got one touchdown. The running game ran for 46 yards and one touchdown. I mean, that just tells you something there. Garoppolo, top 5 quarterback. The man is elite. The man is elite, and he's going into the future that way. I mean, I'll admit, I think he is better than Lamar Jackson. I mean, his capabilities as a quarterback outdo that of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's just a better scrambler and rusher than he is. But I mean, it's just, you can't, both teams fought hard. Again, bad weather conditions. It still worked out.
It definitely still worked out for them, and they moved up to 10-2. So now they are among 3 10-2 teams. And as I said, we'll go along with it. Well, actually, make that 4. I don't know how many 10-2 teams, but now it's almost like, the 2 lost teams are now the ones that are considered to be, going to be top dogs in the playoffs. So. But it's going to be interesting. But with what won the game for them was Justin Tucker, the kicker, kicked a 49-yard field goal as time expired to win the game. Otherwise, the game was pretty much even.
Oh yeah.
So, but it was the day of the kickers.
It really was. And we got, we got to get into these. We have 2 major upsets we have to look. 3 major upsets we have to look at here. And
before we do that, we do have a game to get to, which led to another casualty for coaches. And that was the Redskins and the Panthers.
And that's one of the upsets. That's one of the upsets.
There you go.
And I was actually going to go to that. Ron Rivera fired. Ron Rivera fired. Done. And honestly, good riddance. You are not leading your team like you should. You made bad calls with Christian McCaffrey in this game, where McCaffrey did not get to have this be his team like it should have been. Allen played decent, but he's not the future of this thing. But I will say this, Dwayne Haskins did not look as good as people want to think he looked. Sure, he was excited for another win. But the day belonged to Darius Geis. Darius Geis is finally there.
Yeah, and Dwayne Haskins knows that. I know he's excited. I know that he got the win and everything else like that. Yeah, he didn't do very well, but he's learning as he goes along. And Darius Geis comes back because what was it? He had a pretty freak injury, and then he came back from that.
Yeah, and he had another freak injury. He came back from that and wasn't gone for the season. Does 129 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what. With Geis back, I think he'll definitely be the leader of this squad, and he will teach Dwayne Haskins about leadership, because this is a guy who has that role. He couldn't play throughout much of the season, but he really showed that he took the role and he ran with it literally, and made it work. And the defense for the Redskins is finally coming together. They're pieced together so well. So it really helped them out. And it was the first road win against the Panthers. Get this, Bob. Since Week 15 in 1998.
Oh, yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. Wow.
And we're talking about when the Panthers were in their infancy, or actually they were in their toddler seat just about. Because that franchise started in '95, and that was '98, and that was the last time the Redskins beat them.
I mean, so that shows you right there what's going on. Really does. I mean, the other upset.
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Ron Rivera, he's out of a job, but he's got to find another job somewhere else.
He will be. He'll be coming back as a coordinator somewhere, But and I'm gonna get your opinion on the coaches too in the NFL. But to really jump in on this one, we're going to go over these other two upsets, and we're going to go over a game that I'm going to tell you was not an upset, and I'll get into that one, as well too. And I'm not talking about my Dolphins. We'll get into that one later. But the game that was not the upset, we're going to get into that one moment. A game that was an upset, even though the score really does not show it, really truthfully, was the Titans and Colts. I would have picked the Colts to win this one. Ryan Tannehill is playing like a franchise quarterback now. Even his career-defining year with the Dolphins before he suffered that injury to his knee, he's doing better now than he did even then. 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry was phenomenal with 149 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, really just... and Brissett's not the answer, and I think people know this now. But he did throw for 319 yards, 1 touchdown. But it's just Brissett's not the answer to that one. He gets sacked a lot because he does hold on to the ball too much, and sometimes he tries to live off the old plan before the offensive line became strong in Indianapolis, and just throws the ball off way too soon.
Yeah. I probably would have gone the other way because Tannehill's been on a hot streak ever since Mariota got benched, and you bring Tannehill in and everybody's going to say, "Oh, great, nothing's happening in Tennessee. This isn't going to happen." Well, I think Tannehill has proved the skeptics wrong. That says that he's back and he's found a home in Nashville. So I gotta believe that the Titans could definitely win out. I have a feeling they may wind up winning out and could take the division. I hate to do that to my Texans, but they could wind up taking the division if they continue to play the way they are.
Yeah, people also got to realize this too, that they have a chance even if they don't win the division, they still have a chance in getting to the playoffs and taking that away from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
True.
I mean, it's then the Steelers. We'll be talking about them later on. But man, the score may have been 31-17, but that's still an upset.
It is, and the fun part about it is, Titans still have the Love You Blue in them.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, and the other
Houston Oilers for back in the day.
The other upset, I feel for 2 people here, because the other upset is the Bengals winning their first game against the Jets.
First win since Week 15, 2018, which was 350 days. Almost one whole year since they won. And they win this ball game. Andy Dalton put back in the starting lineup, and he was the Andy Dalton of old.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because Andy Dalton is going to be gone after this season. They're going to have the first overall pick, and they're taking Burrows no matter what. Sad for Andy Dalton, but he'll be playing somewhere else. But I mean, it's just the Jets. I feel sorry for 2 people. I feel sorry for Sam Darnold, and I feel sorry for Adam Gase. Adam Gase is being looked at in a bad way, and he's dealing with a dysfunctional front office, just like he was in Miami. Just like he was here in Miami. Very dysfunctional front office. Sam Darnold is dealing with a dysfunctional team.
They finally started winning, and then all of a sudden, right back. I mean, the Jets were flying high, and in this game they came crashing back down to earth.
Yeah, and something's going to happen here, and people aren't going to understand why. I mean, I know the Jets still have their injuries. They still have their suspensions. The Jets, they need the front office to get their act together, and they need to back up Adam Gase if they have to get rid of players that are not needed. So, I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. Adam Gase is a good coach. It's his front office that's holding him back. As far as the Bengals go, you may have one more win left in you. You do face the Dolphins next, and we don't know what Dolphins will show up. So you may have one more. You may have one more win left in you. We'll soon find out. Dolphins do have a game next week, and I'm going to be going into a little bit of trivia about that one when we do talk that. We do have, so we are going to go into that, and I'm going to move down here a little bit for people who want to say this was an upset. This was an upset. The Broncos beating the Chargers. That was not an upset. I'm sorry to say, that was not an upset. Phillip Rivers, you scored 2 touchdowns for 265 yards, but you had more picks than anything else, too. Drew Lock finally got to come into the game. 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Drew Lock has a future. I think he does.
He does. He needs a little bit more seasoning, but from what I saw, his first career start, he looked impressive. I know the numbers didn't reflect it, but we're getting a little taste of what we're going to see with Drew Lock. And even though, yes, it was Mr. McManus that won it as time expired with the 53-yard field goal, McManus is their future as far as the kicker is concerned, because they've been looking for a kicker that could kick, and he did the job there. But Drew Lock, I think, has proved to me that you're right. He is the future. He's not the here and now. He probably won't be next year. But I'm looking maybe like 2, maybe 3 years down the road to see him develop into a great quarterback. And like I said, he proved it.
Yeah, because Flacco's going to start next year no matter what. Lock will ride the bench, and he will get put out there next year at some point too. But John Elway is in a situation where he's got to get it right with the quarterback, and this is the guy to do it with. So he's just he's now he's in get it right mode where that goes. Yeah. But again, I do not look at this whole thing and look at it as an upset. I think Phillip Rivers is at the end. I think Phillip Rivers called too many shots and made too many bad decisions. So I think this works really against him more than for him. So that much I'm going to say. Drew Lock was impressive. Phillip Rivers wasn't. And Phillip Rivers, he may not be as old as Tom Brady and I think he's rough. Yeah. I think he's a little older than Aaron Rodgers. What is his age? Like 36 or 37?
Something like that. He's close to 40. I know he is slightly older than Aaron Rodgers is, but from what we're seeing, I think that you're right. Phillip Rivers is done. And I'd like to I want to use the term, but I don't want to be called racist, so I'm going to keep it to myself. But he's been intercepted more times this year than I think very many quarterbacks. So it's just and the next game we'll talk about. Kind of segues into what we're discussing about, you put a starter back in and then they don't do anything. And then, because the old term, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, the Broncos, at least for now, have fixed this problem that they had. And they've seen that Drew Lock does have a future, but I guarantee you next year he's going to fight for that starting job. And you're right, Flacco's going to get it. But Phillip Rivers, I think his time has passed.
Definitely, I agree 100%. I don't know if we should get into any more games here now before we take our commercial break. Is there anyone that we really probably should really talk about?
I think we'll wait after the commercial break, because I know you want to talk about your Dolphins, but I want to get to the Bucs-Jaguars game, because this is what I'm going to say is the example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we'll discuss that along with your Dolphins when we come back.
All right, we'll be right back after these words here. So let's take our commercial, and we will be right back.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions is your place for that aquatic enthusiast in your family this holiday season. With Christmas fast approaching, now is the time to look for that great gift for that special someone who lives the aquatic lifestyle. With years of experience, owner-operator Nelson Fletcher can help you achieve your aquatic needs and goals and help you find that special gift for that aquatic enthusiast you love. You can also converse with other aquatic hobbyists and enthusiasts by logging on to www.aquariumauctions.ca and joining the TAC room, where you can ask any questions. Visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today at their website at www.aquariumauctions.ca or their Facebook page at facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Christmas is not far away. Come catch Santa on his sleigh. Time is precious, seize the day at Ski's Watch and Clock. Ski's been in business for 20 years. He knows his stuff, so have no fears. He knows about all those tiny gears inside every clock. When you come to Ski's Watch and Clock, his variety is huge. From wristwatches, pocket watches, stopwatches, desk clocks, mantle clocks, grandfather clocks, new and previously owned reconditioned pieces. Right now, with Christmas so close, we will only accept light repairs till after Christmas. The elves are busy enough as it is filling Santa's sleigh. Don't let the Grinch stop you from filling the stockings or putting things under the tree this year. If you're worried about getting someone a gift, you can put items on layaway with just a small deposit. Thanks to Ski, you can send that stupid Grinch to his bedroom with no dinner or TV and no computer or PlayStation. By now you must be wondering where Ski's Watch and Clock is. It's located in beautiful downtown Winter Haven at 106 West Central Avenue, Florida, just across from the main post office. Call 863-294-5630. Again, that number is 863-294-5630.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together, this is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Memories can last a lifetime, especially when it comes to the holidays, especially when it involves taking pictures. If you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place you can count on to make those memories last longer than the holidays. That place is Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers can help you with making your Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate the best ever by taking single shots, family portraits, couple portraits, pet photos, and more. She can also capture the finest winter scenery you can imagine. Those photos are available all across the country and around the world at a price that will not empty your wallet for last-minute Christmas shopping. Don't wait until the last minute to get your pictures done for the holidays. Call Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography at 541-951-2443 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work can be found there. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year from all your friends at Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, the machine gun! Look out, Danny!
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Are you looking for a great education that's also in a great location? Check out College of the Siskiyous. We offer a variety of career and technical education programs, general education, and personal enrichment classes. With our new Reg 365 process, you can register for any semester, any time of the year. With on-campus housing, an active campus life, competitive athletics, and expert guidance from our highly trained staff, College of the Siskiyous is waiting for you. Call us today.
I took my son to the mall the other day to see Santa Claus. The woman in line behind me says, "Hey, is that Santa Claus up there?" I said, "No, ma'am, that's a Kenny Rogers stunt double. Here's your sign." The other day I bought a wreath to go on our front door. As I was walking out of the store, a man stopped me and said, "Hey, you gonna hang that on your door?" I said, "No, sir, it's a Christmas toilet seat cover. Got the idea from Martha Stewart."
Here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You acted dumb, so have some fun and wear your stupid sign. Oh, here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You lost your mind, so pay the fine and wear your stupid sign.
I hung those little Christmas lights on my house, you know, the kind that blink on and off. My neighbor comes over and says, "Hey, Bill, how do you get those to blink on and off like that?" I said, "I got my son inside, plugging it, unplugging it, plugging it, unplugging it. Here's your sign." I took my family by a Christmas tree the other night. When we walked onto the lot, this guy walked up and said, "Hey, y'all here to buy a Christmas tree?" I said, "No, sir, my son's got to go to the bathroom. These trees look really inviting."
Here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You acted dumb, so have some fun and wear your stupid sign. Oh, here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You lost your mind, so pay the fine and wear your stupid sign. Have no fear, we're spreading cheer during Christmas time.
The other night, my family and I were walking through the neighborhood looking at all the Christmas decorations, and we came upon this house that had a manger scene. Now, there was this whole group of people looking at it when I overheard this one guy say, "Hey, are those the three wise men?" I said, "No, sir, that's ZZ Top doing a Farm Aid concert."
Here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You active dogs, have some fun and wear your stupid sign. Oh, here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign. You lost your mind, so pay the fine and wear your stupid sign. Here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your stupid sign.
And finally, my wife and I were in a grocery store the other day, and I heard a woman ask the clerk, "Do you know what time midnight mass starts on Christmas Eve?" And in the holiday spirit, I walked over and said, "Here's your sign. Happy holidays, everybody."
I just had to play that one. You know, I haven't done too much Christmas music this year, as far as the shows go. So that one had to happen, and I know you know that you couldn't ask for a better one than that one.
Oh, yeah.
Play.
Yeah, especially that one that was just coming up there. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, who doesn't love Bill Engvall?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially after the "Here's Your Sign" moment Abby and I had a few years ago. So I don't know what. I was so surprised that I sent it to him. He hasn't even used it yet. So but that's another story for another time. But we're going to get right back into what we're talking about. That is,
yeah, where we are. That is our games. our games of the week here, and we're going to get more into it. We do need to keep this one moving because we are not going to take our next commercial till we are done with this one here. And you want to get into the Buccaneers and Jaguars, and you said if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep. And putting Nick Foles back into the starting rotation is a dumb idea. Especially when you have a rookie quarterback that just came out of nowhere. And I believe he came out of Washington State. He's a Pac-12 quarterback. Small guy, but very versatile, very, we've seen that in many of the wins that he started. You start Nick Foles and look what happened.
I'm going to agree here with you. I have to agree with you, man. I still couldn't believe it when I saw it. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it. And all I could say is, what a thing to do there. You really, when you take out the rotation, you're not just going to be able to just bring it back. You're not just going to be able to bring it back. People got to understand that. It's just, you're not going to come back and win games. You're just not. You're just basically, what you're getting into is basically, I don't know how to basically describe this one.
I would say go back to basics. Since you're using the word basic a lot, or basically a lot, I think going back to basics is probably what they're going to have to do. Doug Marrone is going to have to put Gardner Minshew back in the starting lineup, which he has done. And we'll talk about that in a preview. But Gardner Minshew is going to start this Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We're just, to put him back into it, man, it's just, Doug Marrone's job is on the line. That's what the best way to say it. His job is on the line.
And to be honest with you, he's not a really good coach.
He's really not. You really want to know what's hurting him? That's what's hurting him. And that's what they got to look at here in that one.
Yeah.
Doug Marrone not going to do it for you.
Absolutely not. I don't think that. He may be a good coach, but he's on a team that just can't seem to get out of their own way. We always talk about, the Dolphins not wanting to get out of their own way, the Broncos not wanting to get out of their own way, the Cowboys not wanting to get out of their own way. Well, the Jaguars are just another team that can't seem to get out of their way and play winning football.
And that's what's hurting them. That is what is hurting them, and people just got to realize that. That this is the gist of what's happening here. That we're really talking about. We're talking about here is just basic fundamentals. For lack of a better word. That. You're on a roll with one, even though you weren't winning, you're seeing the potential that this kid has, and you don't, and you stop it for, and I understand, the money you got back, the money you got invested in him, I understand that part, the money you invested in Nick Foles, makes you have to start him. But, Nick Foles isn't getting it done. We're seeing the Nick Foles of old. And I wanted to be wrong about this. I really wanted to be wrong. And just so people understand, I'm being totally honest about this. I'll say it again. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted to believe that Nick Foles is a lot better than we gave him credit for. But he went on a team that just does not have the players. Doesn't have the players, and... It's So I mean, I apologize for that disturbance there. This was not the Nick Foles we wanted to see. This is not the Nick Foles we wanted to see. Unfortunately, this is the Nick Foles that we really got to come to the reality and understand this is the Nick Foles we remembered.
He's not the same Nick Foles that won the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry to say, but the plain and simple fact is that he has proven time and time again he's not a versatile quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He is not someone that you would invest in. And you spent all that money just because he was a Super Bowl champion. You spent all that money to bring him to Jacksonville, and look what he's done for you. Hasn't done much of anything.
No, he hasn't.
And that's probably the biggest disappointment that I see out of Nick Foles. But then when you bring this young rookie, Gardner Minshew, into the mix, and he performed the way that he did, I'm not going to sit there and say he won every game. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, the magic's gone. I think we've said that a couple times. I said, the Minshew magic is gone. He's not going to do much of anything, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, he's better than Nick Foles at this point.
No,
I think you've got to use your head.
He is. You're absolutely right. And I've said it. I think Minshew. I said this about Matt Moore. We got to see how Matt Moore got to play. Matt Moore, 7-8 years ago, deserved a shot. But now it's too late for Matt Moore. Matt Moore looked good, but he's too old. He's not going to be long term. Matt Moore would have been good. Deserved a shot, and would have been a good starter for you for 5 years. Back in 2012, when he came and filled in like he did. Mm-hmm. But I just think I think Minshew is he's younger. I think he has the potential to be better. I think it would be wise for them to really think about using him. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think so too. I think that it's going to be better for them in the long run to have Minshew start. Which, as I said, he is going to start this Sunday. And let me go get the schedule of games here of who they're going to play. Jacksonville is going to play the Chargers. So what a good opportunity for Minshew to prove that he should have never been benched in the first place.
Exactly.
What a grand opportunity. And I think that would be something fantastic to see. And honestly, it's going to come down to one simple thing. Can the Jaguars move forward with Minshew for the rest of the season? I think they should. I don't know if they will or not, but just get off the hype of Nick Foles. All right? Because Nick Foles hasn't done anything for you this year. He gets hurt, Minshew comes in, and then starts proving that he is a better player for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. I don't think you need to do much more than that.
And we didn't even spend time talking about the Bucks on their incredible game.
Yeah, that's the other one I know you wanted to get into.
Yeah, because we're talking about Tampa Bay doing really well. Winston, I'm sure, had probably one of his better games, and the defense just stepped it up. So Tampa Bay deserved that win.
Yeah, they did. I'll say it. I'm one of those that would have gone with the Jaguars. The other game we're going to get into, we're going to get into this, and after this we'll get into the Giants and Packers. We'll get to the Eagles and Dolphins. I know that the only one I'm going to just say Rams Cardinals. Don't invest too much in saying that Jared Goff is back. Yeah, sure, 424 yards, 2 touchdowns against one of the worst defenses there is right now. Even Todd Gurley looked good, but that's not saying much because there's still a lot of holes left in the Cardinals. That's all I'm going to say there.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's go to this AFC West battle and talking about the Raiders and Chiefs. And this reminds me of the Raiders and Chiefs of old. Blowout.
This is 2 times now that the Raiders have gone without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. And
actually,
the Chiefs defense,
Carr did score a touchdown. He just didn't make the 2-point conversion. I'm sorry. I take that back.
Yeah, but be that as it may, they saw Chucky looking like Chucky on the sidelines. Talked about John Gruden. And Patrick Mahomes just looked over, not impressed.
Yeah.
The only one that was impressive was Mahomes, and I'm sure that, let's see, a lot of his receivers, I wonder if Tyreek Hill is back, because I know that he'd been injured early in the season.
I don't know if he is or not. I know Kelsey was.
Kelsey, yeah.
Well, it's very instrumental in their game, so, I mean, that's something to really look at.
But yeah, Chiefs have got a stranglehold on that AFC West, I'll tell you. I mean, 8-4 will say, not an impressive record. It is if you're the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They just want to try and get in there and try not to be to try and choke again in the playoffs. But I think that if they could get back to playing their game, and they know that they're not going to be undefeated, they know they're not going to go 16-0 and all that stuff. But they got both quarterbacks that both are ready. So I say that the Chiefs will definitely win out the rest of the season. But it was another one of those embarrassing losses for the Raiders, whose farewell tour for Oakland has hit another snag against a rival.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's something that's got to be looked at. And the Chiefs for this one, big win for them. The Chiefs are back too. And just so people know, I am not saying the Raiders suck because of these two losses. They don't suck. This is just, this is still a team that's in the process of developing. This is a Gruden Raiders team that's still in the process of developing, and with the fact that they're not going to be coming into their own till they're at least they're at their new home and their new home stadium for at least 2 years, no matter how complete the team will be. We're talking about getting a balance going, and that's what the Raiders need right now. But moving on.
Yeah, because Arrowhead Stadium has been a house of horrors for the Raiders for many, many years. And it continued to show today. And it's showing that aging stadiums like Arrowhead can still be loud. And I just don't see the Chiefs moving out of there anytime soon. But yeah, for the Raiders, they got to get things together so that they can keep pace.
Yeah.
Next up,
Packers versus the Giants. Packers look good. Aaron Rodgers 4 touchdowns, look great. Why is this happening to the Giants? 2 reasons why. A coach that'll probably be fired in the next couple weeks, and Daniel Jones,
the man that was supposed to be the answer. And he looked good early on, but like Janet Jackson always says, what have you done for us lately?
Yeah.
Not a thing. And you also have to factor in the elements. It snowed at the Meadowlands. And when you talk about snow, that works to the Packers' advantage because they played in the snow. Aaron Rodgers has played in the snow. I'm pretty sure he's had snowball fights in Paradise, California. He's played in the snow. He knows the elements. He knows what goes on. So the fact that he took that ball and he ran with as hard as he could, and he, would hand it off to Aaron Jones because he pictures what what happens in Green Bay when it snows. It's probably going to snow this weekend there in Green Bay, but it's just like channeling that Lambeau when you're in the Meadowlands, and it worked to his advantage. It worked to the Packers' advantage when you talk about the elements in the snow.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time. And that's just it. But it's just Saquon Barkley. If you're not happy there, I understand why, and I do feel for you.
Yeah, he'll want to go somewhere else. Maybe Green Bay, because give them another weapon. Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be something? But the Packers 3-0 record following a loss this season.
Yeah, definitely.
So anytime the Packers lose a game, they fire right back up and they get 3 straight. So this is going to be interesting remainder of the season for them.
Definitely.
And it's going to be scary time, especially with who they got coming up. But
yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. I think the next one is one that you're going to talk about because it's your team, and I know that you're not sold on the Dolphins coming back. But it's another win.
It was a freak win. It's a freak win. I mean, Fitzpatrick, I'm going to admit Fitzpatrick did his numbers. I didn't expect the Dolphins to be this good against the Eagles. Devontae Parker is having the greatest season of his career now. I mean, Carson Wentz, this loss is not Carson Wentz's fault. I was coming down on Carson Wentz earlier. Carson Wentz could be better, but this is not Carson Wentz's fault at all. Carson Wentz, he's not going to be a top. He does have some issues that have really plagued him since his injuries, which is not going to let him be in the top 5 like he should be of quarterbacks. Probably not even going to let him in the top 10 right now. But come on, really? A punter fakes and throws to a kicker for a touchdown? When was the last time you saw a punter and a kicker work together like this? I know we're talking about 1977, which was the last time a punter threw a touchdown to a kicker to a kicker and all that, but really,
it's very rare, Bob.
And this is 42 years ago. We're talking 42 years here.
Mm-hmm. It's very rare to see that. And it's what my old buddy Sonny Stupak used to call trickeration. The minute that I saw that, I said, "Oh boy, Bob's going to love that trickeration that's happening." So as I channel my inner Sonny Stupak here, but the thing about it is that the Dolphins are now starting to find ways to win. Yes, it's true what you said earlier that they have a dysfunctional front office. And the coaching staff just doesn't really know what to make of what's been happening this year. And all of a sudden they got their 3rd win of the season, and they do it with trick plays. And Fitzpatrick is starting to get on a roll. So maybe if you've got the front office and you let Dan Marino and Zach Taylor run the team.
Jason Taylor, you mean?
Jason Taylor, I'm sorry. You let them run the team the way that they can do it, then I think the Dolphins will win. But there's just like I mentioned in talking about with the Arena Football League collapsing with too many cooks in the kitchen. That's what we've seen with teams like the Dolphins. You got too many cooks in the kitchen that think that they know everything and they know how this works. And you look at the result.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But Sunday, Dolphins looked really sharp.
They really did, and I'll admit to that too. I did not want to see. I personally want to see the tank go down. I think the Dolphins need to pick up start things off with an offensive lineman. My thing would be to see them get an edge rusher with their third pick they have in the first round, and make their first 2 picks happen for that offensive line with a guard and a tackle. I'll be talking about that later. That's my little fantasy there. But Dolphins. Look good. Eagles, I think Carson Wentz is eventually going to bounce back. It's just not going to happen this season. So I think Carson Wentz will bounce back. But again, that's we'll be talking about all that real soon. But
makes you wonder if there's dysfunction in Philly as well.
Yeah, I almost wonder too. Injuries are more of a factor in Philly as well too. And they don't have as many injuries, but they're just simply key injuries to the team. So. But
I have to ask you, Bob, you dig those throwbacks to Super Bowl 7?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you did because that was what they were wearing. I think that was pretty good fortunes right there for the Dolphins in that win. Maybe I'm pushing that a little too far, but be that as it may, I think the Dolphins played like they were the perfect team in 72.
Yeah, they probably did. Maybe it psyched them up. All right, we got 2 more games to get into. We're gonna save your game for last because, as far as I'm concerned, that's the game of the week. We do have 2 more games to get into here before that, and we got to be quick about this. The first one I want to get into, I think we could probably move on from this one real fast too. Browns, Steelers.
Rematch.
Steelers finished it. Browns started it. Steelers finished it.
Pretty much, and no Mason Rudolph either. You got their third string quarterback who's now going to be the starter for looks like the remainder of the season, and he looked pretty impressive out there. And the Browns just no Myles Garrett because of the indefinite suspension, and it showed.
It really did. It really did. This team, all I said was they had to do was stay focused. And they could do something here, and they didn't, and they didn't. Kitchens' job, he'll be fired. He'll be fired at the end of the season. Yeah, I don't think he's going to keep his job at this point. Even if they were to get a winning record, I think they know Kitchens can't control this. They're going to need a coach. If I'm the owners, I'm decimating that whole front office and bringing in a whole bunch of new people, including a general and I'm going to have a general manager hired and a head coach, and those 2 guys are going to be kick-ass, take names kind of people, and that's what they're going to bring in as far as their assistants go and whatnot.
And there's no way the Browns are going to hire Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome is staying in Baltimore. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The whole thing about coaches I've talked about, but we'll get into that one later. Other game to get into here that happened Monday night. This was also a game of the week too. Vikings versus Seahawks. I didn't think the Seahawks were going to pull this one out. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think they would, and they did.
Abby will tell you, you need to learn your lesson, Bob. When they get behind by a big bunch, Russell Wilson engineers a quarterback. It's the same old story. It's been like that for years because everybody thought that the Vikings. When I looked at the score at work, I said 17-0. I was like, oh great, I got to tell Abby. She's not going to be happy about that, and I did. And then by the time I got done with work, I looked at the score. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! What did Russell Wilson do this time?
Yeah, of course, Carson. This time it was Carson running for the Seahawks.
For the Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah, not Penny this time, and wow, he looked good too.
We're sure Penny did pretty good, according to what the reports say. But plain simple fact is, just another engineered comeback by the Seahawks.
And I agree with that. Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook still look good, even though Dalvin Cook really only ran for 29 yards. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if the Seahawks were to work on their offensive line, they could very well become the team to have the perfect season and beat the Dolphins' record with 19 wins for a perfect season.
Oh yeah,
along with winning the Super Bowl.
And now, and you think about this, Kirk Cousins 0-8 Monday night games in his career. So Monday is not a good time for him. As far as the Seahawks are concerned, they are now tied with the 49ers for first place in the AFC West, and by virtue of the tiebreaker, the Seahawks have the lead.
And that is true, and I believe there's still one more game for them to have.
Yep, and they're going to face the 49ers. I think they face them in Santa Clara, because I think, if I remember correctly, I can't really remember, but I think, as far as I know, the Seahawks did manage to win the ball game the first time around. So now the rematch will be coming up, and I think it'll be in Santa Clara.
No doubt. Now you got to say, this is This is going to be the Seahawks. Their story is just beginning. Just so people know that people can talk about the history of the Seahawks, especially when they were back when they were an AFC team, and when they allowed the 2 expansion teams to be in the AFC, they moved the Seahawks to the NFC, which I thought was a great move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I totally.
Because if I remember, and I was reading a little bit of history, did the Seahawks actually start the AFC and then move to the NFC after a year? During the expansion year, and Seattle and Tampa Bay switched conferences after their first year?
Yeah, that did happen. Happen. It was, when they moved the Seahawks over to the NFC, and this was all about too. This is all about the placing too, because they were going to have. It was going to go from 3 divisions conferences to 4 division conferences, so they had to really even things out, especially when the final expansion teams came in. And
that was when Houston came in, and that was when they did the realignment. That was where they put the Seahawks in the NFC West. And look at what happened to the Seahawks. They went from being one of the biggest doormats in all of football to a team that eventually went to 3 Super Bowls and won one of them. So it just goes to show, it goes to show where you move is depending on where you move, it depends on how well you do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something people have really got to look at. I mean, if we look at it here, If we look at it here, we got to go from one to another here, and no one saw this one coming. And Tom Brady, you're exposed. The Houston Texans showed how to get it done against the Patriots.
I put one word on Facebook. Finally! First win for the Texans over the Patriots since Week 17 in 2009. And let me once again spell this out for you folks. The Houston Texans have only been around since 2002. They may not be the greatest thing since sliced bread. They may not be the Houston Oilers, but I'm going to tell you what. The way that they played, Houston fans are going to forget Love You Blue. Okay, maybe I'm stretching out a little bit. But the way that they played on Sunday night against the Patriots, my jaw dropped. After I got done watching, after I got done with Cat and Chuck show, I was recording it. Or actually, because I had technical problems and stuff like that, I went to go watch the rest of the game. I got to tell you, when I saw 21-3, I about hit the floor. I was like, what are they doing right? The Patriots are doing wrong. I mean, Deshaun Watson's got his weapons. He's got DeAndre Hopkins, who had a magnificent game. His other receiver, whose name escapes me at the moment, also had a spectacular game. And it was like that they were starting to find the running game as well. With Carlos Hyde, I believe who it is one of the backs. He's found his rhythm. That offense has found his rhythm. The defense, I'm going to tell you what, even though they don't have J.J. Watt, J.J. Watt sitting on the sidelines or standing on the sidelines, he's firing his defense up like he's a coach. Whatever they did worked because the Patriots, oh my gosh, they stunk up the joint at NRG Stadium Sunday night. And a lot of people are going to say, well, there were some players that were sick this weekend. It's like there were some players that weren't feeling too well, and it's almost like they were getting tired of winning. And you saw the last couple of weeks, Bob, and I'm going to get your view on it with Tom Brady. The last couple of weeks of a defeatist attitude that he had, even though they won games. And is it me or is Tom Brady tired of winning?
I think Tom Brady is tired here.
That is the defeatist attitude that they came in with.
I'm not going to say it's a defeatist attitude, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say that as much, as the fact that Tom Brady is tired, and Tom Brady is having to do work he never had to do because they don't have a real playmaker for him to throw to on a consistent basis since Gronk's retirement. I mean, we could talk about all the history of wide receivers they had. We could talk about them having a Terrell Owens. We could talk about them having what's his name again? I'm trying to remember here. Aside,
Antonio Brown, I know.
Yeah,
they
Antonio
had him
Brown.
for what, one game?
Yeah, they're talking about bringing him back. They're talking about bringing him back because they need a big playmaker to throw to. This shows you that Tom Brady has to do more work, and he's tired of it. He's too old. He does not have the same abilities. And he never really had the ability to be the glue of the team. Tom Brady was lucky to come into a situation that was Drew Bledsoe's and make it his because of the fact that there were great players out there. You can talk. Look at the history of people he's had to throw to. Edelman's good. I'm not going to take anything away from Edelman. But who else does he really have since Gronk retired? Gronk, a tight end, was his big playmaker. Gronk retired after 9 years, or 10 years rather, in the NFL.
Because of concussions as well. Not because of his party attitude, although he's going to throw his own Super Bowl party in Miami coming up, but not because of the party attitude that he seemed to have. Like, hey, look at me thing. Because of the concussions.
Oh, yeah. And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Gronk wanted to leave in one piece.
Yeah. And more so than this, think about this. Edelman can't do stuff by himself. That's why you see him crying, whining, and everything whenever there was a penalty flag or something. And I think it was a penalty flag thrown against him for offensive pass interference, and he went off. They're not used to that. This is a Patriots dynasty that is crumbling. We saw what the Ravens did, and we just saw what the Texans did. Expose the Patriots. So you got to wonder. And I know the Patriots have a game on Sunday because now all the bye weeks are done. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming to town. Do you think for 1 second that Chiefs defense is going to look at what the Texans did and find the weakness of the Patriots? Because I know that's what the teams are going to be doing now. And Houston just started that trend of finding a weakness.
And there are weaknesses. I kept saying there's a weakness here. Tom Brady, if he doesn't have people to throw to, he sucks. He is not the glue. Just like Jared Goff, he is not the glue to keep the team together. And that's what people need to understand. Jared Goff, overrated. Tom Brady got his Super Bowls, but it was, he always had a great team behind him. I'll tell you what, the best thing that happened to Tom Brady to really help him, and he's not really using it to his advantage because it's what helped him last year to get another Super Bowl, is Sony Michel.
Exactly, and he didn't do much himself that I know of.
No, he didn't. Sony Michel is the best thing you ever had.
Comeback. The late comeback probably made the score closer than it indicated, but it obviously was not the Patriots' night. And Sony Michel, and that's what you're about to say. Sony Michel didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm looking at things here. Sony Michel really was not the top rusher of the night. Well, White was. He's got the best running game he's ever had in his career with the Patriots. This is not Tom Brady's team. This is Bill Belichick's team. It was Bill Belichick that got them to the Super Bowl and won it, not Tom Brady. We're seeing this dynasty start to fall apart. You're absolutely right. And just so people understand this is what should have been happening a few years earlier. Anything that's happened now with the Patriots are absolute flukes, to say the least. But I'm not going to, Bill Belichick is the one who's finding the ways. And, if Tom Brady, I think he's starting to lose his heart for the game because he's not as talented as he was. He's not. There are things he is slowing down. He is getting weaker, just like Drew Brees is.
And like I said earlier, I'm probably going to stand by it, but I think he showed, what was it, when he had a big win, he showed a defeatist attitude. Oh, yeah, we won. Big deal. Well, is he tired of winning? If you're a quarterback, you cannot be tired of winning.
The game.
6 Super Bowls. Big deal.
It's
you want to keep winning.
because I think things are starting to pass him by, and I just think he's denying it. I don't know. It sounds defeatist. Yeah, I will agree with you. That's what it sounds like. But I think reality is he's really at a turning point in his life that he needs to recognize and not deny.
And I hope that his wife Giselle doesn't keep pushing him, because I think that sometimes it seems like he does keep pushing him to try and continue to do better. But there's going to come a time when you're going to have to turn the reins over to somebody else, not just the quarterback, but the head coach. Bill Belichick doesn't seem like he's getting tired of losing. He's just getting tired of addressing the media all the time. That's why he always has the short answers, as opposed to being the co-host of that of the 100 greatest players of all time, of which he's doing. Which I think that's probably where he would probably wind up going to, being a member of the media, so he could talk more. But honestly, I think that the Patriots did not play like the Patriots, and it showed this past Sunday, and it gave me a chance to get excited, because the Texans have needed a kind of game to take on the defending world champions. And after almost 10 years of not being able to beat this team, to finally win, I know you're probably still not sold on the Texans turning a corner, but it could happen. Bill O'Brien used to be a disciple of Bill Belichick. So does that tell you something?
It does. It absolutely does. I think people need to go with that there too. But as far as that goes, I think we definitely got to call it show for the previews and or the reviews here, and we need to get into our previews for the next one. So we're going to take ourselves a long-winded break that we both do need here, and we will be right back after these words. And all I can say is Patriots. We ended it with the Patriots, and we'll be talking more about this, and we will get more into this, and even answer you can even answer that question again, Mike, when we get to the Patriots game here. But let's take our halftime break, and we will be right back.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions is your place for that aquatic enthusiast in your family this holiday season. With Christmas fast approaching, now is the time to look for that great gift for that special someone who lives the aquatic lifestyle. With years of experience, owner-operator Nelson Fletcher can help you achieve your aquatic needs and goals, and help you find that special gift for that aquatic enthusiast you love. You can also converse with other aquatic hobbyists and enthusiasts by logging on to www.aquariumauctions.ca and joining the TAC Room, where you can ask any questions. Visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today at their website at www.aquariumauctions.ca or their Facebook page at facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Christmas is not far away. Come catch Santa on his sleigh. Time is precious, seize the day at Ski's Watch and Clock. Ski's been in business for 20 years. He knows his stuff, so have no fears. He knows about all those tiny gears inside every clock. When you come to Ski's Watch and Clock, his variety is huge. From wristwatches, pocket watches, stopwatches, desk clocks, mantel clocks, grandfather clocks, new and previously owned reconditioned pieces. Right now, with Christmas so close, we will only accept light repairs till after Christmas. The elves are busy enough as it is filling Santa's sleigh. Don't let the Grinch stop you from filling the stockings or putting things under the tree this year. If you're worried about getting someone a gift, you can put items on layaway with just a small deposit. Thanks to Ski, you can send that stupid Grinch to his bedroom with no dinner or TV and no computer or PlayStation. By now you must be wondering where Ski's watch and clock is. It's located in beautiful downtown Winter Haven at 106 West Central Avenue, Florida, just across from the main post office. Call 863-294-5630. Again, that number is 863-294-5630.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together. This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Memories can last a lifetime, especially when it comes to the holidays, especially when it involves taking pictures. If you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place you can count on to make those memories last longer than the holidays. That place is Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers can help you with making your Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate the best ever by taking single shots, family portraits, couple portraits, pet photos, and more. She can also capture the finest winter scenery you can imagine. Those photos are available all across the country and around the world at a price that will not empty your wallet for last-minute Christmas shopping. Don't wait until the last minute to get your pictures done for the holidays. Call Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography at 541-951-2443 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work can be found there. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year from all your friends at Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, there's a machine gun. Look out, Danny!
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Are you looking for a great education that's also in a great location? Check out College of the Siskiyous. We offer a variety of career and technical education programs, general education, and personal enrichment classes. With our new Reg 365 process, you can register for any semester, any time of the year. With on-campus housing, an active campus life, competitive athletics, and expert guidance from our highly trained staff, College of the Siskiyous is waiting for you. Call us today.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the
Hold
house...
it now, wait, hold it. That's played out. Hit it! Don't you give me all that jive about things you wrote before I was alive. 'Cause this ain't 1823, ain't even 1970. Now I'm the guy named Curtis Blow, and Christmas is one thing I know. So every year, just about this time, I celebrate it with a rhyme. Gonna shake it, gonna bake it, gonna make it good. Gonna rock, shock, knock it through your neighborhood. Gonna read, gonna sing it till it's understood. My rapping about to happen like a knee you was slapping, or I throw you the tapping on a hunk of wood. Bought a red suited dude with a friendly attitude and a sleigh full of goodies for the people on the block. quite a shock. Now people, let me tell you about last year when the dude came flying over here. Well, the hawk was out, snow was on the ground. Folks stayed in to party down. The beat was thumping on the box, and I was dancing in my socks. And the drummer played at a solid pace, and the taste of the bass was in my face. And the guitar player laid down the heavy layer of the funky chunky rhythm of the disco beat. And the guy with the 88 started to participate, and I could sure appreciate a sound so sweet. We were all in the mood, so we had a little food and a joke and a smoke and a little bit of wine. When I thought I heard a hoop on the top of the roof, could it be it wasn't me? I was feeling super fine, so I went to the attic where I thought I heard the static on the chance that the fans was somebody breaking in. Put the noise on the top with a reindeer cop, just a trick, St. Nick, and I let the sucker in. He was rolling, he was bully, and I said, holy moly, you got a lot of wishes on your chinny chin chin. He allowed, he was proud of the hairy little crowd on the point of the door where the skin should have been. Gets cool for a fool, going out every you for a day on the sleigh when the cold winds blow. So the beer may be weird, but I'll never have a cheer, cause it's warm in the storm when it's 10 below. I said, yo, Rod, it's cold tonight, so can you stop for a drop before you go? He said, why not? If the music's hot and I'll chance to dance beneath the mistletoe. So he went downstairs and forgot his scans, and he rocked the spot and danced like a pro. And every young girl tried to rock his world, but he booked the yogi till he had to go. And before he went, this fine old gent bought a gift with a sip through his big red bag. In the top or the bottom, he reached in and got him toys for the boys for the girls' glad rags. And the grown-ups got some presents too. A new TV and a stereo. A new Seville, about as blue as the sky. The best that money couldn't buy, cause money could never ever buy the feeling. The one that comes from not concealing the way you feel about your friends. And this is how the story ends. The dude in red's back at the pole up north where everything is cold. But if he were right here tonight, he'd say Merry Christmas, and to all a good night.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what you mean. What did you say your name was?
I see that it's not clear, but you good buddies to clean out your ears. Listen very close while I pop more game, cause my name's in the Hall of Fame. The K-U-R, the T-I-S, the first is the best, I must confess. The B-L-O and the W, I make you wanna catch the boogaloo flu. Now if your name is Annie, get up off your vanity. If your name is Todd, get off your backside. If your name is Pete, you don't need a seat, cause I'm Curtis Blow and I'm on the go. I'm rocking to the rhythms in stereo. Just throw your hands in the air and rave on like you just don't care. If you're ready like Freddie to rock real steady, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, young ladies, all the ladies in the house say, ow. And you don't stop, come on, come on, come on. Let me see you rock. Get down, stop messing around when Curtis Blow is in your town. I'm Curtis Blow on the microphone. A place called Harlem was my home. I was rocking one day, it started to shake, and sung to me, I like a earthquake. I packed my bags, I said goodbye. I kissed my woman and I started to fly. I came to Earth by a meteorite to rock you all on the mic. So just kick off your shoes, let your fingers pop. Cause Curtis Blow's just about ready to rock. Now the people in the back, if you're not the whack, say. The people in the front, if you want to bump, say. The people in the middle, if you want to wiggle, say. And the people on the side, if you want to slide, say. Not a preacher or a teacher or an electrician, a fighter or a writer or a politician. The man with the key to your ignition. Curtis Blow is competition. Young ladies, shock the house. Jazzy young ladies, shock the house. Now just throw your hands in the air and wave it like you just don't care. If y'all really ready to rock the house this morning, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody scream. Oh, young ladies, Mercedes, all the ladies in the house say, I yes, yes, y'all. I keep on. Chicka rock, 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 the rock, rock, rock. And don't stop the body rock. And everybody say ho, ho. And all the brothers, fly guys, get high. Say macho, 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 mucho macho. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah. Keep on rocking on. Keep on. Rock the hip, the hop on. Like a little boy blue blowing on a horn. The needle on a record trying to play a song. It's been that way since the day was born. I like a 25-cent bag of popcorn. Dip, dip, dab, so socialize. Plug your ears and open up your eyes. So you go here can realize that I'm here to tranquilize. Got the knack of cool jack, better than Beretta. Casanova Brown, but closer down. Get down, stop messing around when Curtis Blow is in your town. I'm a one of a kind, I'll wreck your mind. Put a wiggle, double wiggle in your behind. Twice as nice, I'm skating on ice. When my mama gave birth, she named me the baddest MC on earth, y'all. To the beat that makes you free. Get out of your seat and freak to the beat. The weather is cold, so catch some heat. Now let's get
All right, we are back, and that was a long, well-deserved break for us. That definitely was, and since we can go actually 5 hours if we wanted to, it's pretty good now.
That'll be on your end. I started with Action VR 2. Now you've followed suit, and this is the best. This is the best way to do it now is to go 5 hours. We just have to wait for a little while to go to the next one up. I think we still record 5 hours live, but the rest of it's would be live streaming at that time. So there could be a lot of great things happening with this year's Spreaker that we're still looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to another great week of the XF and the NFL. And I'm also, and I want to kind of get this in before we start talking previewing Week 14. I'm more excited than ever about the XFL coming up, and I think Bob's also very excited. So excited, in fact, that Jonathan Rios and myself, Jonathan Rios at 920 WON and WON Sports, and myself are teaming up to create a new show devoted to the XFL called the XFL Today. It is expected to start this month as we get ourselves prepared for the upcoming season, which will start the week after the Super Bowl. I know that's not a very smart plan, but it seems like that's what all other leagues are doing these days, except for the Arena Football League, but or at least the AFL did that a few times. But I digress. The XFL, with the teams unveiling their new uniforms this week, and I got to tell you, I'm loving what I'm seeing. There's a lot of color here, but I think that more importantly, there's going to be more football than spectacle than anything else. But we're going to be getting a chance to start that. I will be starting it, and I might wind up finding another host. But for now, looking forward to doing XFL Today. Myself, Jonathan Rios, and even Fred Stutchberry, who hosts another XFL show, which will air on 920 WO in the Apple, and it is Guardians Game Day. That's for the New York Guardians team. So this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for it. XFL Today coming this month on both Action VR Network and WON Sports as a collaborative effort, and this just continues the collaboration. So I know you're looking forward to that, Bob.
I definitely am, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of good fun, so definitely something to get into. All right.
But now,
go ahead.
We're ready for Week 14.
Yep, and tomorrow night, or for some people listening to it, we might as well say tonight, it is the Thursday night game. The short, and it's not a short week. It is not a short week. And how do you feel about this one? The fact that both the Cowboys and Bears played on Thanksgiving, so it's not a short week for them, and it's the Cowboys versus the Bears. Someone's going to have a winning record, someone's going to have a losing record, as they're both 6-6.
Yeah, something's got to give. All I have to say about that, something has got to give in this ball game, because this is a game that I think that people are going to be interested in watching to see how they do, because for these two teams, this is kind of like a normal week, but because everything's out of whack and they get to play 2 Thursdays in a row, and One's coming off of a win that they just barely squeaked by the Lions. That'd be the Bears. And the Cowboys coming off of getting their butts kicked by the Bills. Both teams now feel that they could be refreshed and ready to go.
I agree. And I think that this is going to be a game that I think Jason Garrett knows he needs to win. Otherwise, if Jason Garrett loses this one, it's not going to be easy for him. It's not going to be easy for him at all for the rest of the year, no matter how much he can try to shine. Because we're talking about him possibly
I'll say it again, Bob. Let me tell you. If Jerry Jones wants to take the team to the Super Bowl, why didn't he get his old butt down there and coach the team himself?
Yeah,
because you can't expect Jason Garrett to do everything.
Yeah, you can't. You're right.
He's probably the longest tenured coach there, and a lot of people say he does not deserve to be there.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll agree with that. And I don't know if he's more tenured there longer than Tom Landry, but I'll tell you because you're talking about after this, you got a game against the Rams in Week 15. That even though, and I'm not big on the Rams, no one really is, as much that much. But they're still a team that could possibly beat the Cowboys. Then they got to face the Eagles, which is going to be a divisional game that matters, because the Eagles are going to be a team that could still very well be tied with them and battling with them for the playoffs. So they need this win against the Bears. They don't get this win against the Bears. I think you'll be seeing someone with a lot less motivation, because the only game they would stand a chance at winning after this would be against the Redskins, which would be the final game of the season for them. And that's not going to be good. They need to defeat the Bears, they need to defeat the Rams, and they got to go in there with high expectations that even if the Eagles do win and the Eagles do face the Giants this week, we'll get into that later, that they're going to have to really pull one out in order for them to guarantee themselves into the playoffs. So there's a lot to look at here. So with this one here, and the Bears, I think Trubisky's numbers lie. I don't think Trubisky's that great. He did not go up against a great defense. And the defense the Bears have can really neutralize the Cowboys if it really wants to. But I'm going to truthfully say I think I got to go with I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win this one. Mm-hmm. I'm biting my tongue here on this one to try to change my mind, but I'm going to stick with the Cowboys.
Yeah, it'll have to be a must-win game. But in a case like this for the Bears, I'm not going to really say that momentum was on their side, because they did not play well at all. Or I should rephrase that. They didn't play to the potential that they had. I still think the Bears will win this one, but it won't be easy, because now you're going to have a refreshed Dallas team that's going to look to come out for a victory. But I think Trubisky, I'm not saying he's back. I think he's improving. I think he's going to continue to improve as the days go on. But for this one, it'll be a squeaker, and it'll be the Bears will win it.
Yeah. I hope you're right. Trubisky was the most improved quarterback last year. He really went back to looking like a rookie this year, but it's all in time. But we'll talk about that one, again as time goes on, where we think should stand with Trubisky. We go to Sunday night, and this game could very well be a good game. Is it going to be in high demand? Probably not. The Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons.
The first game, that'll be like the first afternoon game. But the first game post Ron Rivera, and a little bit of news too that Cam Newton is going to have surgery on his foot, either this coming week or sometime next week. But he will have surgery on his foot. So if he's not done for the rest of the year now, he probably, or if he wasn't done for the rest of the season, then he is now, because he has to get that foot repaired. He needs to get that foot healthy so that he can come back. But as I said, the way that he's been acting with him being now the fashion plate of the NFL leads me to believe that his tenure may not last very long.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because Kyle Allen is their future, though he didn't look it last Sunday. I mean, he did impressively well. He didn't win the game, though. But as you were saying, we were talking about this earlier, that Panthers just made way too many mistakes, and that, many people believe, is what cost Ron Rivera his job, was too many mistakes.
And I don't know if they're going to look past the mistakes here, even with Ron Rivera not doing it. We're seeing how the front office is handling things. They didn't just, get make a special teams coach, the interim head coach. They also moved other people around too, and I'm not liking this at all. And it's not like they're getting anything better there with Dan Quinn in Atlanta. But Matt Ryan, I think Matt Ryan's going to show up this time. I think unless the intelligent decision to use McCaffrey more comes out in this one, I got to go with the Falcons to win this one. I know, it won't be a big win, but I think the Falcons do have it in them to win this one.
I think they will, because Carolina is struggling, and sure enough, the Falcons had a god-awful game last Sunday against the Saints. Or last Thursday, I'm sorry, against the Saints. Let's not sugarcoat it. Okay? They had a god-awful game. But when they come off of bad games like this, sometimes it's motivation to get right back to where you were before, when you started the win streak. I think they have it. I think they need to do a much better job of protecting Matt Ryan. Otherwise, Matt Ryan's time will be up quicker than we all expect.
And keep in mind, Matt Ryan's 34 years old now. Matt Ryan, I said it 5 years ago, this man should be a top 5 quarterback, but he took too many bumps, too many hits over a 7-year period then, to where, I think Matt Ryan, regardless, he will be back next year. But he's going to be closer to retirement than anything else, because I don't think he's going to be able to take it much longer. And I think it would be wise for him to do it. But that notwithstanding, I'm going with the Falcons. I believe you're going with the Falcons too, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Falcons will bounce back. I mean, sure, their home game against the Saints was not one to write home about. I'm still going to say the Falcons will bounce back. They're not done yet, but they're going to bounce back.
And I'll agree with that one. Moving on to the next game, the Colts versus the Buccaneers. This could be a good one. The Colts, we already know, can play. There are some injuries on the defensive side of the ball that's really getting to them. And I think that's really what's starting to hold the Colts back too.
I think you're right. Plain and simple, I think that this is where I think the Colts are going to have to really step it up, because they did not do anything against the Titans last Sunday. If they're going to get themselves back into winning form, I think that they need to vastly improve. Because if they don't, then I guarantee you are going to see the Buccaneers, who have been hot and cold. Winston's been hot and cold. A lot of other players have been hot and cold. Bruce Arians is going to eat them for lunch, because Bruce Arians knows how to work with quarterbacks. I think he's got Jameis Winston's focus in the right direction. I think that the Buccaneers definitely will have laser focus coming up this weekend.
I'll agree with that. 100%. I think, and I think a lot's going to be looked at here, and I think it's going to be, it's good. There's going to be a lot of details looked at people who predict this game, and this is going to be going against the grain here too on this one, because I've been eating crow anyway. I'm going to go. It will, and even though we see the records for what they are, and they're one's 5-7, the other is 6-6. It would still be an upset at the same time if they did win. I'm going with the upset, and I'm going to say the Buccaneers. I think we see the defense play up, and I think we see another good game out of Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I think so too. And but honestly, I don't think that the Colts really have it together. Like we said, last weekend was pretty much a microcosm of we're seeing the mighty Colts falling, because almost every year they won the AFC South. I see that Brissett's time is up this year. He can't really get much done these days. So I think that Winston will have a breakout game. And you might call it an upset. I don't think I will call it an upset, but I still say it'll be a Buccaneers win.
Yeah, the injuries on defense are, I think, a little too much for the Colts right now. And they still got to bulk up on that defense and maybe get one more offensive lineman. They're going to, there's a lot of talk that the Colts may go after Tua themselves and try and move up. But, again, I don't know for sure. But you're right. Brissett's time is done at this point.
Absolutely. Just for this season. He's still their quarterback in the future. I just don't think that he's going to really put it back together, because when you take this big of a bump, especially against the Titans, and I think also against the Texans, I mean, I just, his confidence may be rattled a little bit.
Maybe.
But give him time. He'll be a great quarterback, and they'll be back.
Yeah, and I'll admit to that one. Here's a trivia question here for you. Who's got... The Dolphins are going to be in New York. And usually, sometimes every other game is done at home. Every other game is done away. Here's a little bit, sometimes teams have 2 weeks away. Who's not going to have to do any sort of traveling this week? What is it that the Dolphins have against the Jets that's going to benefit them the next week when they face the Giants?
Honestly, I think they'll
2 weeks.
They'll just kick back into themselves.
Yeah. 2 weeks. Same town, same stadium next week. The next week as well, too. I'm sorry.
But I think it is beneficial, unless they said, "Oh, well, we're just going to have to, we're gonna have to bring you back, then we'll send you back." No, I think that it might be a good idea if the Dolphins front office was smart, they would leave them in New York so that they could continue to work, to continue to build themselves up for the next for the game against the Giants. But I think what would really help the Giants or help the Dolphins out is a win against a Jets team that just suffered their most humiliating loss of the season when they lost to the worst team in the league in Cincinnati. Are they going to recover from it? I don't know. For the Dolphins, I think they are riding high now on another big win and beating Carson Wentz. I think that this could wind up being the Dolphins' win. So if I know you the way I know you, Bob, I think that even though it's late in the season, even though I think your chances of getting a really top draft pick are fading away real fast, what do you say? You say the Dolphins? I say the Dolphins.
I say the Dolphins too. I mean, everything is, if you look at the rankings, everything is pretty close between them, with the exception of the Jets really having the better defense, and that's where they're hurting the most with their injuries and suspensions are on defense. But I got to say the Dolphins here too. I just think things are looking a lot better for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I got to go with that experience. Even though we are talking about the future quarterback in the NFL, no matter what, in Sam Darnold. But this is just a Jets team that Adam Gase is going to suffer a second loss here, and sad for Adam Gase. I like Adam Gase, but I got to say it. I think the Dolphins get win number 4 here. And they may have win number 5 when they face the Bengals at the end of the year.
Well, let me just put it this way: if Gase does get fired, what coach wouldn't want to have, or what team wouldn't want to have, and just let him do what he wants?
Because Gase is a victim of another front office deal,
like a general manager.
Yeah, he's just a victim. He's a victim again. He's a victim of another bad front office. And that's really where you really got to look at it for Adam Gase and his career.
Yeah. If you put him as a head coach and a general manager and give him a chance to let him run the team the way that he should, I think that, we're going to see – we'll see some good things out of Adam Gase. I just don't know if it's with the Jets, because now he's taking on – and as I said – as you've been saying, Gase had the issues in Miami. He goes to New York, is dealing with the same exact thing. I know that he would be vindicated if he could beat the Dolphins again. Or I don't even think I think the Jets lost to the Dolphins, didn't they?
They did. They did lose to the Dolphins.
So this could probably be another chance to exact a little bit of revenge. I just don't see it happening. I think that honestly, I just think that this is going to be the Dolphins game because Brian Flores, he's learning. He's probably a good coach, and I think that the Dolphins front office better pay attention. Because if they start winning, you better know that there's going to be somebody, because you better know that you got yourself a great coach. For the Jets, that front office definitely needs to wake up. Because if you could probably wind up bringing one of the worst coaches, or maybe even bring a college coach in to try and see if you could remedy the situation. I think both these teams would say that, but I'd say more the Jets now, because things are really crumbling for them, as opposed to the Dolphins, whose stock is starting to rise again.
So yeah, and we got to really look at it this way. I mean, you're taking a team of guys you really don't know about, and let's face it, Flores is doing a Bill Belichick on this one, turning them into talents. He does not big. It's going to be about whether or not he can do better at getting the big playmakers. That's what's going to be for Bill Belichick, but he knows how to develop a team. Bill Belichick as a GM is probably a little more average. As a head coach, he's great, and that may be pretty much what you have out of Brian Flores here too. Again, I'm going to say it. I'm going with the Dolphins to beat the Jets.
Same here.
Next game here, and we're going to go probably a few more games before we take our next and hopefully final commercial timeout here. And it is the San Francisco 49ers versus the New Orleans Saints. This has got to be the game of the week.
That is the game of the week, Bob.
Because I'll tell you
that is definitely the game of the week.
Whoever wins this one is the number 1 seed and has the home field advantage. Unless I'm speaking too soon about that one because we still got the Seattle Seahawks out there too. So I'm speaking a little too soon there.
That's okay. That's okay. We can still talk about it because it's a key matchup. Because it is an early afternoon, or in our case, out here out west, it's a morning game, but out there it is an early afternoon game, and you've got two teams at 10-2. This is going to be make it or break it for these two teams. For the Niners, if they want to keep pace and want to try and stay on top in that first place tie with the Seahawks, they're going to have to win, at least a first place tie. But for the Saints, getting that big win against Atlanta, they got the momentum riding. This one's going to be tough to call.
Yeah, this one is, and excuse me, I apologize again there for my yawn. We are running a little more than we wanted to here.
Well, we're killing two birds with one stone here, so that's
the important part of today.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm going to go with the young blood. I'm going to go with the popular defense that the 49ers have. And I'm going to go with the young blood and picking Jimmy Garoppolo over Drew Brees. I mean, I know people are going to disagree with me on this one, but I'm going with the future on this one, and that's that.
More so than that, look at the running game that they've got. It's probably the best since Frank Gordon was on their team. I mean, they've got just an absolute outstanding running game that we're seeing come out now. In addition to having a tight end. I forgot the guy's name. I keep forgetting names. I have to study them more. But a tight end that was probably the best tight end since John Taylor. I believe John Taylor was a tight end, but for sure Dwight Clark. So as I look at it, I think that I would agree with you. I think the Niners have a bit of a ride, but it's a tough call. I mean, you still got Drew Brees, and his backup isn't too bad either in Bridgewater, if needed.
I agree.
Toss this one up in the air. I'm going to have to catch it and say the 49ers myself. But they are in New Orleans. They are in the Superdome. That's a tough place to win, although the Niners have won there in Super Bowls, if I remember correctly. But tough place to win if you're facing the Saints.
Yeah, it is very tough. And I was almost going to leave this one blank and not render a prediction. I was almost ready to do that, but
do a push, right?
Do a push. And yeah, you're right about that. They are going to be in New Orleans, and I'm going to say, people say it's an upset, but it really won't be. But I think the 49ers pull it out.
It'll be good. It'll be tough. So yeah, Niners will win it, but they're going to have to earn it, just like the Saints are going to have to earn it.
Exactly. Whew. But going into into it here, keeping it going with week 14, Lions versus the Vikings. I don't know if
Vikings.
I don't think there's going to be an upset.
No, Vikings.
Even with Stafford there, I think the passing's overrated. I think Stafford's overrated. I think it's starting to show that Stafford is the ceiling, and and just so people know, I don't think Matt Patricia is going to lose his job, but I think the Vikings do win.
No. Yeah, Patricia will not lose his job, but I think Stafford will lose his starting spot, because who's this kid that we saw on Thanksgiving Day that came in? We were just talking about him a little earlier.
Oh yeah, I know.
This guy's amazing.
I think this kid's going to deserve a chance. I think he deserves a chance, and I think they should really look at that with him.
He impressed me last Thursday. He was just remarkable. Again, his name escapes me. We mentioned him earlier. It was Blau. Blau, that's his name.
Some people call him
quarterback of the future.
Some people do call him Blow, so I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, I heard it on the broadcast. It is Blau. Trust me on that. Take my word for it. But this kid is something else. I mean, he was running circles all over the Bears defense in Detroit, and it's a fine sight to see. And I think that, you know, the youth movement is starting to come around. We're seeing players just, especially in the quarterback position, starting to make, you know, to come around, make names for themselves, get national television exposure, especially when you have a Thanksgiving Day game and you were on the verge of winning it, and then you see a collapse happen to your team with Mitch Trubisky, you know, waking up. But I think for the Lions, they're going to have to do a lot. And I really mean it. They're going to have to do a lot to try and take on Kirk Cousins and this Minnesota Vikings team that, even though they lost a heartbreaker Monday night, the Vikings are going to be prepared.
Yes,
and this was going to be a Vikings win.
Yes, I think it will be a Vikings win too, and I'm not going to argue. And this one I'm going to be the same way about. Even though I'm happy to start to see Drew Lock play, and I think he does have potential for what we just saw for his first week. They're doing this to get him some experience. So you don't have, you know, Drew Lock probably really doesn't have to be that impressive. But I will say this: they got to face the Houston Texans, and I think the Texans are going to come out and win this one for sure.
They're going to win. They're going to win it. I'm saying it not just because I say they're my team, but they're going to win it because of Deshaun Watson. He's a young quarterback, but he's got experience. He's got more experience than Drew Lock does. But for Drew Lock, this will be a learning experience for him. I don't really give a crap about what the critics will say. You know, I don't really give a crap about what, you know, the media will say. All the haters are going to say that Drew Lock shouldn't even be starting. Hey, he got his chance now because, you know, Flacco's been ineffective and he's also been hurt. And I guess the other quarterback, was it Brandon Allen, I think it is? Very ineffective. So why not start Drew Lock? They did this weekend. He was impressive. You know, he was pretty impressive. And, you know, it's going to be a Texans win, but let's just see what the Broncos could do on defense to try and stop the all of a sudden running game with Carlos Hyde, who's just been outstanding, leading the charge as far as the running backs are concerned. And, you know, with wide receivers like DeAndre Hopkins that can catch the ball. And we're looking at a defense now that I think is enjoying life without Jadeveon Clowney, but wishes that J.J. Watt was still playing. But I think that J.J. is effectively going to fire that defense up and is going to make sure to tell them, look what you did to the Patriots. Don't back off. Do not back down. But it's just going to be a case of how Deshaun Watson does. I mean, we've seen the flashes of brilliance with him against the Patriots, which shocked most people, didn't shock me because of the fact that the Patriots had been playing really bad. And they got exposed by the Texans. I don't think that there's going to be any exposure unless Drew Lock can expose something on the Texans that's going to preserve the win for them. But in reality, it's going to be a Texans win. A blowout, yeah. But Drew Lock's going to give it a shot.
Agreed totally. And you know, we're just going to. Yeah, and I want to watch that one just to see how things look for him because I think he's going to show potential no matter what. So that's what a lot of people got to look at. Final game we'll get into before our commercial break is because this will be the halfway point of this week's games. And this one's another big one. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills.
Oh. It's going to be the Ravens winning it. They're too much on a hot streak.
I don't think the Bills defense. I don't think the Bills defense is set up.
Give it a go.
I agree with you. The defense on the Bills is strong, but I don't think the defense is ready for that offensive setup that
John
Harbaugh has going on there. So I gotta say the Ravens here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a Baltimore win. They're too much on a hot streak. Nothing could stop them. The Niners couldn't even stop them in the rain in Baltimore.
No, it couldn't. And I'll be honest with you, that's something we got to really look at. We got two quarterbacks of the future here that's going to be really playing. They're really starting to build themselves up. You got two very strong defenses, but an offense that is much stronger than the Bills' offense, I just think, can really get this one done. And you're talking about a team that in the rankings that's listed first in rushing in this Baltimore Ravens team. So we got to say a lot here where this goes.
Absolutely. It's going to be another big win for the Ravens because they're obviously going to win the AFC North. But to be honest with you, I think they're going to go all the way to win the Super Bowl.
I think their biggest game would be in the Super Bowl too, and we're going to get into that in the future too. We'll probably be talking about that one after we come back from our Christmas break. But I will say this, that I do think the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this one.
I mean, that's obvious. It's going to be the Ravens against the world now that the Patriots have slipped. But I think that you're right. It's going to be a big win for the Ravens, and they're going to continue to keep pace.
Oh yes. And people may say the Ravens really shouldn't have this record, and maybe they shouldn't. But they are the team that is most underestimated. We're going to take our commercial break. We will be right back with the second half of games, and we will finish it. So let's take our time out, and we will be right back.
Canadian Aquatic Auctions is your place for that aquatic enthusiast in your family this holiday season. With Christmas fast approaching, now is the time to look for that great gift for that special someone who lives the aquatic lifestyle. With years of experience, owner-operator Nelson Fletcher can help you achieve your aquatic needs and goals and help you find that special gift for that aquatic enthusiast you love. You can also converse with other aquatic hobbyists and enthusiasts by logging on to www.aquariumauctions.ca and joining the TAC room, where you can ask any questions. Visit Canadian Aquatic Auctions today at their website at www.aquariumauctions.ca or their Facebook page at facebook.com/Canadian Aquatic Sales. Together we can build lasting relationships based on listening and servicing your needs in a professional environment. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Canadian Aquatic Auctions.
My name's James. For 6 years, I was a garbage can druggie. I would do any kind of drug I would get my hands on. But here at Teen Challenge, I've walked away from that drug lifestyle for good.
If you know an adult or teenager who is struggling with a chemical addiction, Teen Challenge is there to help. Please, don't wait. Call us today at 417-862-6969 or reach us on the web at teenchallengeusa.com.
Christmas is not far away. Come catch Santa on his sleigh. Time is precious, seize the day at Ski's Watch and Clock. Ski's been in business for 20 years. He knows his stuff, so have no fears. He knows about all those tiny gears inside every clock. When you come to Ski's Watch and Clock, his variety is huge. From wristwatches, pocket watches, stopwatches, desk clocks, mantle clocks, grandfather clocks, new and previously owned reconditioned pieces. Right now, with Christmas so close, we will only accept light repairs till after Christmas. The elves are busy enough as it is filling Santa's sleigh. Don't let the Grinch stop you from filling the stockings or putting things under the tree this year. If you're worried about getting someone a gift, you can put items on layaway with just a small deposit. Thanks to Ski, you can send that stupid Grinch to his bedroom with no dinner or TV and no computer or PlayStation. By now you must be wondering where Ski's Watch and Clock is. It's located in beautiful downtown Winter Haven at 106 West Central Avenue, Florida, just across from the main post office. Call 863-294-5630. Again, that number is 863-294-5630.
This is our time. We play without limits. We create without rules. We are not for sale. We connect with the whole world. Every idea we've shaped, every relationship we've cultivated belongs to us. We demand the freedom to be our uncensored selves. And when something challenges that, we change it. Together. This is our time.
One, two, three.
Let's start a revolution. Let's MeWe. Join the revolution at MeWe.com.
Memories can last a lifetime, especially when it comes to the holidays, especially when it involves taking pictures. If you live in Southern Oregon or Northern California, there's one place you can count on to make those memories last longer than the holidays. That place is Grateful Heart Photography. Abigail Summers can help you with making your Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate the best ever by taking single shots, family portraits, couple portraits, pet photos, and more. She can also capture the finest winter scenery you can imagine. Those photos are available all across the country and around the world at a price that will not empty your wallet for last-minute Christmas shopping. Don't wait until the last minute to get your pictures done for the holidays. Call Abigail Summers at Grateful Heart Photography at 541-951-2443 or message her at her Facebook page by searching Grateful Heart Photography. Much of her work can be found there. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year from all your friends at Grateful Heart Photography.
If you're looking for action-packed classic fun, look no further.
Carter, there's a machine gun. Look out, Danny!
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
For the best in old-time radio adventures, you've come to the right place. This is one nostalgic weekend.
Saturdays and Sundays, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Action VR Network.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Are you looking for a great education that's also in a great location? Check out College of the Siskiyous. We offer a variety of career and technical education programs, general education, and personal enrichment classes. With our new Reg 365 process, you can register for any semester, any time of the year. With on-campus housing, an active campus life, competitive athletics, and expert guidance from our highly trained staff, College of the Siskiyous is waiting for you. Call us today.
All right, and we are back and getting this thing back underway here. Had a little bit of a delay there, but that's okay. There are some big games here. We're definitely talking about them. There are some games that are absolutely no contest, and we got a game here that could spell the firing before the season ends. For one. For Freddie Kitchens if he loses this game.
Oh, yeah. I would assume you're talking about the Bengals versus the Browns, Cincinnati versus Cleveland.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That is it. And all I could say is if he could, if Andy Dalton could have another good game like he had, I think he could. I think he could definitely take on this Browns team and possibly do something against them. That's all I'm going to say there with that one. But I will say this.
The Browns probably will wind up winning this game, but if Andy Dalton starts and if he was as hot as he was against the Jets, then the Browns, even with Baker Mayfield, even with OBJ, even with their running back, help me out here, Bob.
Their running back, which is
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, that's their wide receiver. Bradley Chubb's brother, Nick Chubb, is the running back.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. With all that, I mean, those are talented players. But if the Browns lose to the Bengals, I guarantee you, Kitchens will be gone.
Yes, he will. And to tell you the truth, I'm going to go with the Bengals to win this one. This is going to kill a lot of people, but I'm taking them to win. They beat the Jets. The Jets are just as dysfunctional as the Browns are. The Browns are probably have a little more in the realm of maturity issues to deal with. Yeah. But I think the Bengals. I think if the Bengals beat them in their own stadium, which is where they're going to play, you are going to see the end of Freddie Kitchens. Simple as that.
I agree. There's no discipline there. And I'm going to say this. Even with 1-11 for the Bengals, they still looked a little more disciplined.
And that's the point. I mean, the Bengals didn't look like they had any fight until that bench lit a fire under, and I'm going to be as brutal as I can here for a family-oriented show. That bench lit a fire under the ass of Andy Dalton to get it together.
I think so. I don't think I've seen Andy Dalton play that well for the last couple of years.
They decided to give Finley a chance, and Finley was a joke.
Yeah, just forget him. I mean, you're going to have the number one pick of the draft, regardless of what happens, unless you win out the rest of the season. Then you're going to screw yourself out of that. But even with the Bengals not doing well, not having a good season, having the 1-11 record, I still think they're more disciplined than the Browns are.
Absolutely, I agree. And this is why I got it.
So if what you're saying here, and I'm going out on a rope here, if what you're saying is if discipline wins games, it would probably go to the Bengals.
And that's what I'm
honestly,
thinking.
I don't see it. I think the Browns will still win. I think Baker Mayfield will still have a great game, but just hopefully he won't write checks with his mouth that his body can't cash this week and start talking trash about the Bengals, because if that happens, the Browns are dead meat. The Bengals will win.
Yeah, they definitely will. And this will spell the end of Freddie Kitchens, because mark my words, Monday you'll hear he's fired.
Yeah. There's just no discipline. It is dysfunctional in Cleveland. It's not the same Cleveland Browns team that, matter of fact, I was just watching a video from 1980 when they played the Houston Oilers. And, the Browns teams were great. Obviously, they didn't make the Super Bowl, but they were great back then. We're not seeing the same thing with this franchise.
No, we're not. We're definitely not. And I think if anyone is going to have to come in, he'd come in and really start to make a member of the front office just to try to get things together. I think you got to get Jim Brown.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't care how old and senile Jim Brown can be at this point. I would bring him in to find the discipline that this team needs to have. And that's just a fact. So I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with the Bengals.
All right. We'll see how that turns out. Okay. What have we got here? Redskins versus Packers.
I had a feeling you were going to jump in on that one.
I bet it's going to be the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field this Sunday, because now it's snowing.
I'm going to agree here. I'm not going to say much here. The Packers, they have their issues. Packers have their issues they need to work out, especially if Aaron Rodgers is going to get that one more Super Bowl ring. But I got to say it. The Packers are winning against the Redskins. No contest.
The Packers are going to win for sure. No contest there. But the Redskins are starting to show a little fire. They may make it a game. But it's still going to be a Packers win.
You're totally right about that.
Yeah.
You're totally right about that. Moving on to the Chargers versus the Jaguars.
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say it.
Said it earlier. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm going to say it. I think Gardner Minshew's back. I think he's going to be going up against a very tough defense. That's the one thing that they really have over there with the Chargers in Los Angeles. It's just, to me, I just don't see things working out as well for a passer rating that is the ranking in the passing is that they're 6th, and I think it shows that they're very overrated. Shows that they're very overrated. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face if I have to. I just don't think he can do it. I don't think Phillip Rivers can do it. Minshew's back. I think it's going to look good.
It's going to look good for the Jaguars. I mean, their season's pretty much over with. But if they get a few wins under the belt, I think they'll start making some noise.
I'm going to agree with that one. I'm going to agree with that one. And, I think they need to move on and give Gardner Minshew a chance and move on from Nick Foles. Should Gardner Minshew look good? He's going up against a tough defense. I respect the defense of the Chargers, but that's about it. The offensive line isn't too bad. The one you got to worry about, you now got a new ceiling because you got a quarterback that can't do it anymore.
And who's it? Tyrod Taylor is on the roster for the Chargers?
I believe so.
If he is, give this guy a chance. Come on, LA. You got to get in the game here.
At some point, you do.
Tyrod Taylor definitely needs seasoning because he's a rookie, and he hasn't. I don't think he's taken a snap this year, has he?
No, he hasn't. He truly
there you go.
hasn't.
Answers the question right there. That would be a great matchup if it would be Tyrod Taylor, Gardner Minshew. That would be a great matchup.
It would be.
Chargers don't want to go that way.
They don't. And,
but it's a Jaguars win in this one, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree, Jaguars all the way. Next game, I think could be a good game here, regardless of what their records are. And regardless of the fact that you're going up against a Cardinals team that is ranked last in defense, which is why I said what I said about things with Jared Goff, where last week went. That because they were the ones who faced they're the ones who actually faced the Cardinals last week. The Cardinals, they really need to get a win here. I think they need to get a win here. I think that should the Steelers lose this one, they'll probably wind up out of the playoff picture. But the Cardinals, you're also going up against a Steelers team that still had us not ranked that high in offense, mainly because of the fact that Big Ben is not there. And I said Big Ben, for all we know, might have just gotten old if he didn't get injured. So this is going to be a tough one. But I don't know what else to say here, other than the fact that if there's a win here, it's 4-8-1, and I think it's a step closer to Kingston getting himself another year out of his one chance. But man, I'm not 100%
You're having a hard
on
time with this one, aren't you?
I'm almost ready not to render one here, but I'm not 100% on this. I'm not 100% on this one here, but I gotta say the Steelers.
Gotta say the Steelers. Well, I'll tell you what, if this ends in a tie and Arizona has a 3-8-2 record, I don't think that's happened ever. 2 ties in one season, I don't think that's ever happened. But honestly, I think the Steelers are going to win this one. They have a great quarterback core. No Big Ben though, but Mason Rudolph, who did not play against the Browns for obvious reasons. But their third string has actually shown that he could produce too. So I think that in a way this would be a Steelers win, but I will make this another bold prediction. It would be a surprise to see this one end in a tie, even though they're playing in Glendale. I would see this one. If I see this one end in a tie, and Arizona finishes the season with 2 ties in one season, they would make history. If that's the case.
I'll agree with you on that one. So you're going with a tie, I'm going with the Steelers. All right. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Oakland Raiders. Both teams are in must-win situations here. Oakland needs to really bounce back after 2 depressing losses. Just really come back and make something happen here. Both teams are in must-wins. Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill needs to lead this thing like he has, and what he needs to do is he needs to get a win, because a win here and a Steelers loss, that pretty much guarantees them a seed for the playoffs, even though it will not be official until the end, because you're still talking about it. The Steelers now being a game behind for that seed.
Yeah. And you still also have to talk about Tennessee still having to face some division opponents coming up at the end of the season, including Houston again. But they're going into the black hole. And Tannehill, I think, has seen it before. But now with his freshness and his new outlook with the Titans, I think that this could very well. And it's going to go back because, as I've mentioned before, the Titans used to be the Houston Oilers, and these two teams had a rivalry going all the way back to the old American Football League days, the old AFL. And, the two teams have locked horns so many times. So if you want to go with that, Bob, let me just say it. You could go back to the old AFL rivalry here that existed between these two franchises, and that Oakland wants to beat a rival. And so with this one, this is going to be tough to pick too for me. But I say the Titans are on a roll. I'm going to go with the Titans on this one. As much as I want to go with Oakland to make sure that their farewell tour is a successful one, I hope I'm wrong on this one because they are playing in Oakland. It's going to be the Titans.
You had to think about that one. We got another big game here with the Patriots. And I'll say this right now. If the Patriots lose to the Chiefs at home, then Tom Brady needs to retire.
Tom
Brady needs to retire. And just
this one, Bob, we're going to have to make the upset special because the Patriots, even though they came back late, still lost to the Texans. They did not look impressive. Kansas City, on the other hand, they're on a roll. And they have all the horses that they need. And they're going to make a very, very serious playoff run.
You're going up against a strong defense, though.
Well, true that. But we've seen the Chiefs face the Patriots before and have held their own. But given the way that Patriots offense played against Houston on Sunday night, I have a feeling that Kansas City has seen the weaknesses and are going to go after it. And that defense may try and go after Patrick Mahomes, even with Patrick Mahomes not quite completely healed after he had the injury early in the season. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to find a way to win. And I'm picking this my upset special. I'm going on a limb saying the Chiefs are going to win this one.
This is hard for me here too. I want to see the Chiefs win. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Lose at home, Tom Brady, against a defense that is not there yet, a defense that is weak in its secondary. Lose this one, Tom Brady, retire. Unless it's a close game, it's a very impressive game, and you look impressive. But all I gotta say is I'm for Pat Mahomes. I'm for the new generation. I'm going with the Chiefs to win this one at this point.
I'm gonna make my nephew upset, but hey, tough luck. Chiefs are on a roll. I mean, they obliterated the Raiders, so they're on a roll. They got to go to New England to do it. They're probably going to have to do it in the snow. That could, if it snows this weekend, that could be a problem for the Chiefs. But I think that Mahomes will find a way to win. So Chiefs all the way on this one.
Yeah, and for the next game too, Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams need a win here.
Seahawks by. Yeah, the Rams need to win. Yeah, go ahead.
I think they need to win. I just don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if Jared Goff and Todd Gurley could do it again, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see there. You're going up against a Seahawks team that is that has a good defense, has a better offense, and has great rushing too. So, and it's more than one run.
But it's also a Seahawks team that starts slow. You saw Monday night against the Vikings. They start slow. They're start slowers, but they're fast finishers, led by Russell Wilson. And Carson's on a roll. I mean, there's no getting over that. They're starting to find their running game. So with this one, sorry, Coliseum, big freaking deal. Seahawks win it, and they're going to just stay in first place by virtue of the tiebreaker over the 49ers. So we're already saying Niners are going to win. We're going to say the Seahawks are going to win. But Seahawks have that tiebreaker, so that has them in first place. They're going to win. They're going to win it. They're just that good of a comeback team.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. And I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one. It's tough for me to believe in Jared Goff and Todd Gurley. That's not to say that they could really turn things around. Todd Gurley especially. Jared Goff has to turn things around in a big way. He hasn't made me a believer, and I just think the Seahawks can do it.
Absolutely. I think the Seahawks are going to win it. Gurley and Goff do not stand a chance against that vaunted Seahawk defense. Even if you're in the LA Memorial Coliseum, you don't have a chance with the Seahawks coming in.
Absolutely. And that's something that's got to be looked at, and that is the primetime game of Sunday. And the other primetime game, Monday Night Football, the Giants and Eagles. Eagles at home here against the Giants, and I think the Eagles get themselves a win here. Eagles are going to bounce back from that Dolphin loss. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Granted, it's against the New York
out,
Giants, but it still is.
It did turn out that Daniel Jones did have a moderate high ankle sprain. I think it was in that game, so he was in the boot. So it's very likely, and this is according to Nick Shook of NFL.com, very likely Eli Manning is going to get the start on Monday night against the Eagles.
And that may be a good move to do because I think Eli Manning, whether he rides the bench or not, is going to stay for another year. You probably should have been using Eli Manning all along because, truthfully, Jones was not ready to be a starter. But I'm going to pick the Eagles here in this one. I don't think there'll be an upset special here with the Giants. Giants may even do as much as move up to number 1. And have the first overall pick.
Well, that all depends on how Cincinnati does.
Exactly. But I'm going with the Eagles. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. Eagles will win. Carson will bounce back. And they're playing at home, too, so it's likely it might likely snow again.
Exactly. I agree with you totally on that one.
We already saw that the Giants don't do well in snow, even at home.
No, they don't. You're absolutely right there, too.
But if it snows in Philadelphia, then you know darn well it's going to be pretty much going to be smooth sailing for the Eagles.
Yeah, it definitely will be, and I'm going to go with that there, too. it's going to be smooth sailing. That's why I picked the Eagles. I think the Eagles win this one. Now, I'll even say this. I think they'll win it by 3 touchdowns.
Ooh. Now that's going out on a limb for sure.
You're absolutely right about that. Well, that's it.
Yeah. What a show.
What a show. A long show, drawn-out show. We'll probably never do the NFL wrap like this again. We covered almost 3 hours.
It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. In fact, we wouldn't have been able to do a show like this if I had to work. But as people have heard me throughout the entire show, I've been battling this bug, but had to do the show. Had to do it. Didn't care how it got done, but stayed home from work just to kind of relax at home. And even check on Abby, who is also not feeling well, but we had to get this thing done and out of the way. And I know that when we get back to things, hopefully on Tuesday, of course, that's a birthday week for somebody. So, and I did want to say happy birthday to my mom. Her birthday was yesterday, 72 years young and still kicking some butt and taking some names. But we're going to definitely be reviewing what happened in Week 14 and see who made some big moves as far as getting their records up and how things go. But, man, we're going out on a limb on some of these games this weekend.
We are. We definitely are, and it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. And hopefully there won't be too much crow. And with that, I'm calling it a show.
That makes 2 of us.
And for Mike Summers, all I can say is have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the show. And like I said, good times are here.
Okay, boys, let's do it. society. I keep some change in my pocket when the children are coming home. I give them a few pennies so we can be alone. I keep the back door open, can't say I'm gonna smell the mouse, 'cause Johnny's been some trouble in a chimney.